Hello, my friends. It's been a little bit of a while since I last posted a video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for your dedication to following my current content, for those of you who already follow me, and for your patience while I was doing a lot of other sort of things in life and planning new content for Move Deeply. And if you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Tanya, and I am here to teach you gentle somatic movement, and usually combined with restorative yoga to help you release tension in your body and get back to doing all those things you love with ease and grace. So today we're going to be doing a video that is actually inspired by a class that I taught my members in my Move Deeply membership program. And it's all for reducing tension through the front of the body and the chest and around the shoulders and the middle of the torso, just to help open up your shoulders more, get rid of shoulder pain, neck pain, upper back tension. And we'll also do a few things that actually get down a little bit into the hip area. So but the primary focus is the upper body. So if you suffer from shoulder pain or a lot of just general tension in that area of your body, then this should be really great for you. So all I would recommend you need today is a yoga bolster or a couple of bed pillows that you can stack just for a restorative pose at the end of the class. If you don't have that, though, that's fine. I'll give a modification. So otherwise, just get into something comfortable, have a soft place to lie down, and we'll get started. So we're going to start this session lying on our backs. Just bring yourself down to the floor nice and easy. And first, let's just check in with our bodies. So extend your legs. And just notice how your body's feeling against the floor with your arms and legs just at a comfortable distance from your body. Just start to go inward, scanning starting with your feet, bringing awareness to each area of your body, just noticing how the muscles are feeling. Moving through the legs, noticing what parts of the body are touching the floor and which ones are not. Bringing awareness into the hips, the pelvis, the lower back, the abdominals, and the front of your body. And then moving awareness into your chest and your upper back, shoulders, and your neck. Since we're going to be mostly working on this area, just really bring a little more awareness now so that we can compare later. And just notice how your jaw is, if you're holding tension around there, and your facial muscles. And let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling the rib cage. Get to full capacity and just hold it there for a moment. And then exhale through the mouth and let it all go. I'll do that again. Inhale through the nose. And as you fill your lungs, just notice which parts of your body are moving, if it's centered more in your lower belly or up around your chest and shoulders. And then maybe try to send the breath into more of your torso. Feel the muscles expand between your ribs. And then slowly exhale and release, allowing those muscles to soften and relax. And then we'll bring our feet into the floor with our knees bent, feet about hip distance apart, hip distance apart, and toes just facing away from you. And just try to have your knees parallel with your hips as well, so not falling in or out. So some of the exercises we're doing today are a little more intermediate, but I will be walking you through them step by step. But don't worry if you don't quite get it this time. It does take practice to get some of these exercises. So just revisit and have patience with yourself, and you will get it. So we're going to be starting with our arch and flatten warm-up, which is essential to just releasing muscles through the core before we get into more complicated exercises. So bring your awareness to your lower back and your lower belly. And if you want, you can put one hand there and take a nice deep breath in through the nose and fill your belly with air. And then slowly release. You can leave your hand there for one more breath, just to bring more awareness to that area. And then exhale to release. You can let your hand go to the side, and we'll begin our arch and flatten exercise. So on your next inhale, start to roll onto your tailbone, arching the low back away from the floor, using those muscles in your low back gently to do so. So the tops of your hips are moving away from your ribs away from your hips. And then very slowly let gravity bring you down as you gently resist, just to slow yourself down as much as possible before resting at your starting position. And then completely relax for a moment. And then use your exhale to flatten your back against the floor, opposite motion. And then slowly release with control, 1 millimeter at a time, letting your low belly muscles relax as you come back through into your starting position. Just rest for a quick moment before you inhale and come into your arch. Slowly release with control. Again, 1 little millimeter at a time as you just breathe normally through this part. Doesn't really matter if you're inhaling or exhaling as you release. And then use your exhale to come into your flatten. Slowly release with control, breathing normally. Relax completely before you inhale to move into your arch. And then slowly release with control. Relax at that starting position before moving on to your exhale to flatten. And then slowly, with control, release those muscles along the front of your abdominals as you come back to starting position. And just release those muscles completely, and then we'll do one more round, inhaling to arch. Maybe getting a little more into that movement, a little deeper, just whatever's available to you. We don't want to have any pain or over contraction of the muscles. So you should just feel a gentle contraction through your low back. And then slowly release with control, letting gravity do the work. And then relax completely. And then use your exhale to flatten. Gentle contractions through the low belly. Feeling a nice lengthening through the low back. And then slowly release with control. And completely relax. So now we're going to move on to the arch and curl to release muscles through the front line of the body, through the abdominals. So bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers just behind the base of your skull, elbows out to the sides, just relaxed on the floor or close to it. And then we'll inhale, come into an arch again like we were earlier. Slowly release with control, breathing normally. And then use your exhale to flatten your back against the floor and curl upwards as if you're doing a sit-up. Keeping that belly activated, the navel dropping down. Elbows are parallel with each other. And then slowly with control, we're going to come down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going if you're still got more space. But once your head touches the floor, just let it relax and squeeze your elbows towards each other as close as you can. And then slowly open them out with control as smoothly as possible. It's okay if you get a little shakiness, that's normal. Just try to drop them evenly to the floor. And then relax completely once they get to the furthest point that they can. It's different for everyone. We'll do that 2 more times. So inhale to arch. Slowly release back down with control. And use your exhale to flatten and curl up. And as you curl up, just be aware if your abdominals are pooching out at all. So to help train them downward, I like to suggest doing a little hiss as we come up, and that'll help contract the transverse abdominals and keep you contracting the correct muscles for this exercise. And then slowly release for down for that count of 8. You can just do it in your own head. And then once your head touches the floor, relax the abdominals, squeeze the elbows together, and then slowly let them open with control. So that last movement with the elbows is to contract through the chest muscles more, which can get pretty tight just from general day-to-day, where we're often rounded forward or just using those muscles to pick things up and whatnot. Completely relax when your elbows are outwards and touching the floor or close to it. And then we'll do that 1 more time. Inhale to arch. Slowly release with control. Exhale to flatten and curl. And then slowly come down. 1 little millimeter at a time. And then once your head touches the floor, 1 more time, squeeze your elbows together. They might even get closer now. And then slowly open. And relax completely. So next we'll be moving on to a more intermediate exercise called the washcloth. So I like the name of this because it just really helps you visualize how to do it. So you're going to be bringing your arms out to T. Walk your feet and thighs together so they're touching. And first we'll work on the arms. So imagine that your arms are like a rolling pin. And we're going to start with rolling the shoulders downwards towards the hip. And so the arms are following your shoulders. So start it from the shoulders, rolling them downwards. So my palms are now facing the floor, which is a result of my shoulders rolling forward. So they're lifting up and away from the floor, but I'm not lifting my torso, it's just the shoulders. Feel a contraction through the front of the chest and the shoulders, and then very slowly let that release and come back down to that T position with your palms open, shoulders rolled back down towards the floor and relaxed. So let's do that one more time. Rolling forward towards your hips. Don't force anything too hard here. If there's any pain, just ease off a little and just go to a point where it does not hurt. And then slowly let the shoulders open back out and release. And now let's do the opposite motion. So imagine that rolling pin. You're going to roll your shoulders up and away, up and back. So now my palms are rolling more towards the direction of my head. Again, just moving with my shoulders. Again, this is one where it really can take practice to understand the isolation, so don't worry if this is confusing. Just play around with the movement until it feels like you're contracting muscles in your upper back area around your shoulder blades. And then slowly let that release. Come back to your starting position, breathing normally. Might want to take a deep breath just in case you were holding it while you were concentrating. And we'll do one more when you're ready, rolling the shoulders up and away towards your the direction of the top of your head. Might want to inhale here, and then exhale, release as you come back to your starting position. There isn't any particular breathing with this exercise, but it can be helpful initially to create a breathing pattern, so I can guide you through that. And now we're going to be alternating sides, so this is where it gets more interesting and where the washcloth idea comes in. So you're imagining that your shoulders are like your arms are a long washcloth and you're wringing it out. So we're going to roll our right shoulder down and the left shoulder up. So my right palm is down and my left palm is facing away and upwards towards the direction of my head, and you should feel a nice strong squeeze through your shoulders. And then slowly you're going to move through center and go the opposite direction. So right shoulder up, left shoulder down. Gentle squeeze. Again, just go as far as is comfortable. And then slowly release. And we'll do that one more time. Right shoulder rolls down, left shoulder rolls up. And then back through center. Right shoulder up, left shoulder down. And then slowly release, back to that T position. Now we're going to bring the rest of the body into this movement. So just starting in that T position sorry, I'm just moving my mic. So starting in that T position again with your arms, you're going to do that right shoulder down, left shoulder up. And then let your knees drop over to the right side. Sorry, I shouldn't say drop. Bring your knees over to the right side and turn your head to look towards your left hand. So we're in a bit of a twist here, but we're not coming into too much of a stretch because we're going to start moving the other way, bringing the legs back through center, rolling the right shoulder up, left shoulder down, looking over to your right hand, and just letting the knees come over towards the left, Should feel really good. But again, if it's too much, just do a smaller version of the movement. Coming back through center. Let's take an inhale as we roll back over to the right side. So right shoulder down, left shoulder up, knees to the right. And then exhale, slowly start to come back through center. And inhale, right shoulder up, left shoulder down, knees to the left, face to the right. I know there's a lot going on in this exercise, so don't worry. Take your time. You can just focus on the arms for now if it's too much to do everything. Come back through center. We'll just do this a few more times each side, so find your flow. If you get confused, just bring it back to breaking down the movement from the arms and then start adding the legs. So your knees are always going the opposite direction of your face as you look over to the shoulder that's rolling upwards. You should start feeling some of the muscles through your upper back and torso unraveling a little bit. It might even feel like a tingling or a little vibration. Let's do one more each side. And then once you're finished your last one, you can just extend your legs, bring your arms a little closer to your side, and just notice how you're feeling. So now we're going to do one of my favorite exercises for releasing the fronts of the hips and also the shoulders at the same time. So bring your feet back in with your knees up and bring your attention to your right hip, and we're going to slowly lift the right hip off the floor just a little bit. Don't squeeze your bum. If you want, you can put your hand on the front of your hip and just feel that activation through the muscles that come through the front of the hip socket there, the hip joint, or the hip creases, I should say. And then slowly let that come back down and relax. Let's do that again, lifting just the hip on the right side. If you're finding you're squeezing your bum, then you're probably going up a little too high. You're really just lifting like a half an inch off the floor, if that. And now while your hip is lifted, you're going to tuck your right shoulder, your shoulder blade in towards the spine, squeezing gently as if you're trying to squeeze a pencil between your spine and the shoulder blade. And then look your head over to the left side. And just hold this there for a minute. I know it can feel a little weird. And then now we're going to release it all. So bring the head to center, untuck your shoulder, and drop the hip. And we'll do that 2 more times on the side. So lift the hip. Again, keep that glute soft as you tuck the shoulder blade in, and then look over to your left side. So we're activating a lot of different muscle groups here, helping to unstick the fascia from the muscles along this line of the body. Breathing normally here, and then slowly bring everything back to center. So we'll do that one more time on this side. Lifting the right hip, tuck the right shoulder, and look over your left side. Nice, even breathing. And then release everything back to center. Extend your legs. And just notice how your body is feeling. If you can detect any differences between the right and left side now that we worked on that right side. It's okay if you don't, but depending on how tight things are, or if you have more imbalances on one side or the other, you might notice it. And then we'll slowly bring the feet in and do it on the left side. So just starting with only the hip on this side so we can get used to that movement. Lift the left hip off the floor. Again, keep those glutes soft. Just a tiny little micro movement to activate through the front line of the hip, through those hip flexors on the front, and also through a little bit through the lower abs on this side. And then let that drop back down and relax. Soften into the floor. And then we'll add the arm to this next one. So lifting the hip. Tuck the shoulder blade in on the left side. And then look to your right. Again, just breathing. Nice deep breaths. And then release everything back to the floor and relax. And 2 more times. So lift that left hip, tuck the shoulder, and look to your right. And then release everything back to center. And then extend the legs. And notice how you're feeling. Should feel a little flatter against the floor now if you noticed your lower back or legs or shoulders felt a little bit away from the floor. They'll probably feel a little bit more grounded now. But again, if not, it's just part of the process. If this is one of your first times doing this type of exercise, then you may not notice it right away. So next up, we're going to target the side of the body. So just roll over onto your left side. And bring your knees in line with your hips, and your feet in line with your knees, as if you were sitting in an imaginary chair. Keep your spine in line with your hips as well, or in line with the back of your mat if you're on a yoga mat. Rest your head on your bottom arm. My arm's just extended because that's the most comfortable for me. You can also put a pillow under your head if that's better. And then we'll bring the right hand to rest on the right ear with the elbow facing the ceiling. And we'll be going into our side curl here. So first we'll inhale to relax and just release the body as much as possible. Relax the belly. And then use your exhale to curl your armpit towards your hip and lift the top foot away from the bottom foot, keeping the knees together. Try not to press yourself up with your bottom arm or the lower part of your body. Just squeezing through the side of your waist. And also just drawing that shoulder blade kind of down towards the waist. And then slowly, with control, start to lower the torso and the leg at the same rate. Just breathing normally. And once you touch the floor, completely relax. And we'll do that 2 more times on this side. So inhale, release, and relax the belly. And then exhale, squeeze through the side body, lifting the top leg, keep those knees together. Your foot might not get as high as mine, that's fine, just as high as is available to you. Notice where you're feeling this in your body, along your side. Maybe all the way into your knee, your ankle, your hip. And slowly release with control. As slow as you possibly can. And then completely relax once you touch back down. Use your breath to help you relax. Nice deep breath in. And then exhale, curl one more time on this side. Just be aware of where your foot is. Make sure it's not kicking towards your bum. We want it in line with that bottom foot at that right angle. And then slowly come down with control. Completely soften and relax at the bottom. Take a breath. Release your arm down and exhale, relax. And then we'll switch sides, so you can just roll over to bring yourself to the right side. Again, relaxing on your bottom arm with your head, coming into that imaginary chair position. Knees in line with hips, feet in line with knees. Back nice and straight with your head in line with your shoulders, and bring your top hand, your left hand to your ear with your elbow up. First take an inhale to release through the abdominals, and then exhale to curl, using those muscles through your left side body, drawing the shoulder blade down towards the waist and lifting that left foot up. Keep those knees together and then slowly let everything come down 1 millimeter at a time. Again, if you have any shakiness, that's normal. It's just your muscles getting used to moving more slowly, and your nervous system getting back to controlling it better. And completely relax when you're on the floor. Inhale to release. And then use your exhale to curl. And slowly come down. And completely relax when you touch the floor. Inhale, relax the belly. And exhale, curl. And slowly come back down. Remember just being aware of where that foot is, making sure it's not kicking in. And completely relax. And then we'll bring ourselves back onto our backs. And we're gonna just wrap things up pretty soon with a nice restorative pose. Before we go there, however, let's just do a nice little self-massage through the chest, making circular motions with our fingertips around the upper chest area, so below the collarbone, kind of moving outwards towards the armpit from your center of your chest. And just explore where it feels sore and maybe harder. Muscles shouldn't be hard, ideally. So somatics can help to release that firmness, and self-massage is just a nice way to do it as well. And just going maybe above the collarbone a little bit into those muscles that join through the neck. And then just gently rub back and forth there. And then release that hand, flick your fingers to get rid of some of that tension through there. And then we'll do it on the other side, so massaging through the other side now. Just notice if this side feels more tender, maybe a little harder, or the opposite, maybe not quite as tense. Usually one side's a little tighter than the other. Just keeping that in mind when you do things day to day. What if you're right-handed, then maybe you're mostly reaching for things with your right hand, so Try to challenge yourself sometimes to do stuff with the other side when it isn't crucial to be using your dominant side. And so just finish up on this side. And then flick your fingers. Relax completely. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, release. So to finish off this series, we're going to bring your bolster in, or your pillows, and we'll finish off with a nice heart opener. So if you don't feel comfortable in this position, then you're welcome to just go into a straight up Shavasana corpse pose. Otherwise, bring your bolster or pillows lengthwise away from your lower back. So I'm sitting up against the base of the pillow, and then I'll slowly walk down and just let my shoulder blades fall down onto the pillow. Relax the arms out on either side, and you can either keep the knees bent, dropping in towards each other with the feet a little bit wider, or if it's comfortable, you can extend your legs, maybe put another pillow or a rolled up blanket under your knees. Just find what is the most comfortable position for you in this pose. You can try a bit more height with the pillows or make them a bit lower. You shouldn't feel any kind of pain or discomfort. It should feel like a nice opening sensation through the front of the body that we don't often get to do. So once you've settled into your position, you'll just take a few nice long deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Start to soften a little more with each breath, just allowing your body to surrender into the floor, into your props. Enjoying this lengthening of the muscles through the front of the body, the support of the bolster under your back. Just noticing where you can release a little more, scanning your body. Notice where you might be gripping at all, maybe through the arms or hands or upper shoulders. Just send the breath there and just ask your body to let go. Release your jaw and let your tongue just hang. Let your eyes soften and sink down into your skull. Eyes closed, just shutting off from the world for now for just a few minutes. And I'll just leave you in silence here for a few minutes to enjoy being present with your body and allowing yourself to relax and release completely. You're welcome to come out at any time, but before you do, just notice why it is that you want to come out. Is it because you're physically uncomfortable, or is it because you're bored? If it's the latter, then I challenge you to wait just a little longer and see if you can allow yourself to just be at peace with doing nothing. Start to deepen your breath and gradually bring some awareness back into the space that you're in. You can start to bring a little bit of movement to your body, wriggling the toes and fingers. Maybe at this point you'll roll slowly and carefully off your pillow and just let your body completely relax on the floor. And just notice again, once you're there, how it feels on the floor. Is there any difference from when we started? Is anything touching the floor now that wasn't before? How is your chest and shoulder area feeling, since we mostly worked on that area? So we'll take a nice big full body stretch before we finish off here. Inhale, reach. And exhale, release. So as you go into the rest of your day, just take your time for the first few minutes to notice how your body's feeling, and especially the shoulders and upper body. And I encourage you to revisit this video, especially if it was a bit challenging. The exercises will get easier, so the more you practice, the more you'll feel those benefits, and it'll start to be something you crave. So I hope you enjoyed that class and you're starting to feel a little more open and relaxed through especially your chest and shoulders. And I'd love to know what you think. Just feel free to drop a comment down below and let me know how you feel. And this class is actually part of my membership program. So it's a monthly membership where you'll have access to a growing library of not only videos like this, but also guided meditations, monthly live sessions with other fellow members joining me live with requests and just going through things together. And also I have a monthly, at the beginning of each month you'll get a journal guide just to help you plan your movement for the month and get a little deeper into the practice of restorative movement that we practice with Move Deeply. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to head over to movedeeply.com/membership, and you can sign up for the waitlist if membership isn't open. Or if I am doing a round of membership intake, then you'll be able to find that out on the website. So I would love to see you as a Move Deeply member someday. If you find these videos useful and you'd like a more comprehensive program to help keep you on track in a growing community of people like you who enjoy this type of practice, then be sure to drop over there, and we'll hope to see you there sometime. So thanks again for joining me today. Keep moving deeply and take care.